I gave it all for a fantasy. Is anybody gonna remember me? If I go tonight, I doubt the world would change. I just pray they don't forget my name. Is it game rules I can't lose? When it's all said and done, will I still be cool? Spend like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. How much I'ma spend profiling? She come in and compliment my closet. Fuck her on the floor like I don't give a fuck about it. Your judgment get clouded when you clouded. My opposition wish I stopped smiling. My family wish I stopped wildin'. I'm still on the east side smoking with my OGs, cause they the only ones that really know me. I was fucking superstars when I was 19. The shit we did, you won't believe me. Now I'm at the turn up looking lonely, and they wonder why I'm quiet at them house parties. Cause everybody see me. Roll some blunts and hit her once and now she need me. Her nigga wanna be me, but they don't know I'm fighting demons. I feel like dying every season. I've been swimming in the deep end. All my bitches know I'm leaving at some point, whether there's a reason or not. Don't try giving me reasons to stop.
With the YT, damn, you wore it on the right day, bro.
Actually, no. Once you said, "Oh, I'm gonna come over and interview," I said, "What should I wear?" It'd be mad hot in here, so I just threw on something. Let me throw on the wash shit.
Word. All right, yo. So here I am with the one and only. Actually, I'm gonna let you tell him. So, who are you? What do you do?
What's good, yo? I go by LetOutThePressure. I'm a producer, artist, songwriter, singer, all that good stuff. Yeah, I pretty much do it all, mix, master. As you can see, I record by myself. I basically do everything by myself. I'm actually trying to reach out to do different things more. I got on the Donnie Katana beat in my next release. December 18th, my birthday. Slick Talk coming out. Anyway, but yeah, that's about it.
Word. So I think the first thing I should ask you is, you're a producer. You started as a producer, and now you've gotten more into the rapping thing. I think a lot of people are doing that right now, or at least that's like, you know, the tech is better. Like it's way easier to make a song now.
Definitely.
So really, how did you go from being a producer to like being a rapper to being a vocalist, recording?
I mean, honestly, it was just when you're a producer, like you make beats all the time. At first, they start out being really sucky. Everybody starts out and they suck. And then as you put more work and time into it, then they get better and better. And as a producer, I was only really giving beats to like, you know, people who I was reaching out to on Instagram, rappers who I knew like locally and stuff.
Yeah.
And I figured out kind of like, I would say 2019, I was gonna make beats in different time signatures and stuff, and I would like share them with people, and they'd be like, "Oh, like it's cool, whatever," but "Oh, where's your regular beats like in 4/4?" I'm like no, like do something different. So I kind of got tight about that. So I was like, I gotta do it myself now. So then, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't just that, like other beats, like regular time signature beats too. Like people were like, oh, like what else you got? I'm like, these are mad good. So I guess it was a little, I was getting a little full of myself, but you know, it turned out okay. But anyway, I started making beats and stuff. Boom, boom, boom. And then I just started like developing my own voice. And because I already know how to produce, I knew what I wanted to sound like. So I want to say from
that makes sense.
November,
that makes sense.
No, yeah, like November, because it was during COVID. So around like November to basically, I want to say the summer of this year of 2021.
November 2020.
Yeah, from November 2020 to the summer of 2021. A couple months.
Kind of spread out. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. November 2021 to the summer. Wait, oh my God. The summer of November. Wait, not the summer. November of 2020 until the summer of 2021.
Yep.
There we go. I was like developing my own sound and everything.
Yeah.
And I was only sharing my songs with people who I knew.
Yeah.
And I was getting feedback. I didn't just like release it and start sounding crazy. Because I feel like a lot of people, they'll release
That's
music.
like half a SoundCloud.
Yeah, exactly. Like they just release music and then they just let it out, but they don't like get any feedback from their voice. Yep. And what doesn't make it any better is, and I've definitely seen this on Instagram, somebody will like post a song on Instagram.
Yep.
And the song will be like literally complete garbage, and you got people, oh, like keep pursuing your dreams,
keep
like
grinding.
keep grinding, but it's like that's not helping that person. They just think that everything is okay. What's helping that person? Hey, maybe shoot them a DM on the side. Hey, I think that you should do X, Y, and Z to make your voice better. Like giving them constructive criticism. So that's what I was doing for that time, and then finally I came out with the deep end, and it was actually kind of like I was very.
It's your first song, right?
Yeah.
The first song you put out.
The first song I put out. It was actually done in like I want to say June, July, but I was very I didn't know if people were gonna like it. Like as an artist, you have to like break through that.
So wait, if that was done in June, when did you put it out again?
I put it out in like August.
So
it had been done. Okay. It had basically been done for a while. And the reason why I didn't release it any sooner was because
I remember hearing it way early.
Yeah, exactly. You probably heard it way earlier. The only reason I didn't release it was I wasn't like confident in like if people were gonna like it or not. But like as an artist, you have to break through. There's that one filter. There's different filters in like success. I feel like in the music industry and everything, you gotta break through certain filters. And that first filter is not caring about what anybody else thinks about your music. Like once you know that it's good, and once you feel like you received enough feedback and you think it's good, like break through that barrier, break through that wall. I have good music. You should be able to tell yourself that I have good music. And so then it was that, and then plus like I had a bad microphone, and I was like, oh, people are gonna hear like bad frequency. But then once I realized like, hey, listen, it's your first song. Like this is not gonna be the last song that you're ever gonna release. This is just like the
also
first thing.
like something about that too. I always think about X whenever somebody says that, cause XXXTentacion like his shit was purposefully sounding like the worst, terribly mixed, blow your speakers up type shit. But it was just the energy, the like movement behind that shit, just the like style, the effort there, like that shit is unmatched.
And that was also that's the SoundCloud era. It was just who had bars or who was getting through to the people the most. They didn't really care about like sound. Nowadays I feel like it's definitely
different.
Quality. It's different nowadays.
For sure.
But yeah, and then once I started producing, once I started doing my own voice and everything, I was able to put like my own effects and like mix things the way that I wanted to. Nobody else was in charge of who was mixing. No one else was touching my stuff except for me. So my product
particular with that shit.
Exactly, and that's how I go with every song moving forward. I've only recorded, I want to say like maybe 2 to 3 songs in the studio, but I get those stems back at the end of the session, and I just go on my computer and I do everything. I don't need to reach out to people, which is why.
That's super helpful too. I found that I could put out music dumb fast because I see other artists I know on social media like I'm hitting my producer, like we're just waiting to hear back, like oh we gonna get this one, just gotta like get this, and it's like
that's a waiting game.
It's a waiting game, but I'm hella impatient. So to have to deal with that would like kill the whole creative, just like enjoyment, like none. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm glad I can do it myself.
And it also saves money because you gotta think about it it's expensive to be
hella expensive,
an artist. Like you gotta say I had the only thing I could ever do.
I'm not pushing
rap.
no bricks. I'm not selling nothing. So I don't got it like that.
Say the only thing, like just imagine like the only thing I could do was rap, right? I would have to go out and pay for a beat if I want to put it on Spotify and have exclusive rights to everything, and you're buying a beat from someone that's at least gonna cost you minimum like $250, right? $250 to get the beat. Okay, now you gotta go to a studio and spend at least, I would say, 2 hours to record it, and that's like $65 per hour. So was it 100? That's another $130 just recording. Then you gotta have somebody mix and master it. That's like another like $250, right? And then now you have the song. Now you gotta go out and get the cover art. That's gonna at least be $25, $50, something like that. And then you gotta go pay for a streaming service or a distribution platform like DistroKid, TuneCore, or whatever.
TuneCore,
that's
the United Masters.
$25 to $50 right there. Boom. Okay. And then if you're really pushing what you gotta do, then you gotta put it on Spotify campaigns, and like you have a music video. We didn't even talk about that. It's like $500 right there. And so like once you start eliminating costs of certain things, it's easier for you to put out content, and you can focus the money that you save on important things like marketing and maybe making your cover art better, or maybe you actually go out and pay for a beat, but now because you save money, it's not really as expensive to you. So it's just it's a lot now.
It's a good point. Damn, heard it. Alright, so then my next question is, who are your influences then? Like, who inspired you? Like, there's probably somebody who came before who's like, alright, this is like why I want to make music. They did it this way.
Yes. I would say the first person that comes to mind would probably be Kendrick Lamar. Every time he releases, every time, not only does he have lyrics, like obviously he has like some of the best lyrics out there, but it's not only that, it's whenever he releases any work of art, it's always different from the last. Like you never catch him doing the same thing.
He don't do shit twice.
Yeah, exactly. Like Damn is different from like Section 80. Exactly. It's different. Like he'll never do the same thing twice, and I feel like nowadays, like a lot of artists, they put out the same. They stay in their lane. It might be a little bit different, but it more or less sounds the same. And he just doesn't do that. But in terms of other artists, definitely Kendrick. Like I said, in terms of being different, J. Cole. In terms of storytelling and relatability, J. Cole. He's an artist where he's relating to the average person. He's not talking about like money, chains, like girls and cars and everything, because not a lot of people have that. Most people are like middle class, if not lower than middle class. So it's the relatability aspect. There's that. I would say Travis Scott definitely. In terms of the way that he changed the game in production and his vocals.
But that like emphasis on vocals at least, because vocals was always like a side thing before Travis. Now like hip hop, like now everybody be playing anything on their vocals. Like it's crazy.
People experiment with different effects and everything.
If you don't hear a hip hop song that's singing with some auto tune, like heavy auto tune on it, it's like it's way more rare now.
And I feel like his ability to he puts mad reverb on his voice. And not change the game. Nobody ever did that before. Is put all that reverb on his voice, and when he like hums and like the way that. Shout out to his sound engineers, obviously. Because they have a very hard job. Yes, like his sound engineers are like goated as well. So I would say Travis Scott in terms of production, because I feel like in the music that I make, I try and I use different voices as well, and that's another thing that I'll pull from Kendrick. Kendrick uses like different voices.
Yeah, that inflection.
Exactly, to display like different emotions or like different parts throughout the song. I feel like I do the same thing. So like when I use different voices, I need to produce each of those voices like in a different way. They can't just sound the same. So there's that. And then I would just say like in terms of like content and everything, why the mixtape that I'm gonna release next year is based off of like emotions and stuff. that kind of just came from me, but I would say two other artists that really influenced me were Chance the Rapper and Childish Gambino.
Yes, Childish.
Chance the Rapper, my favorite project by him is Acid Rap by far.
Acid Rap,
bro. I grew up on that. I really grew up. That's what kind of made me
that shit is heat.
Start getting into rap music and actually getting into like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar stuff was Chance the Rapper and Childish Gambino. But Chance the Rapper, when Acid Rap came out, what made it so different was his ability to rhyme with like weird ass words.
Yeah,
it was like no one was rhyming words the way he was, and he had his accent and his ability
the flow
to,
too, really.
And the flow
was mad different.
Exactly. His vocabulary, his flow, his diction and his words.
Yeah.
That was a major thing, and I feel like I try and apply that to my music as well. And then Childish Gambino just kind of like influenced me because it was just like, just be yourself, just rap about whatever, don't care about what nobody else thinks. He has like a kind of not a weird sound, but it's a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
And people was liking it, especially because the internet, you know.
Yeah. Well, what I like about him is that he cared about bringing concepts back. Cause like, I mean, even when I think about hip hop, like up to that point, concepts wasn't really a thing. It was more about rapping specifically. Like I'm sure there were other ones I haven't studied that deep, but like just the idea of a concept album, like I'm trying to give you one theme, like one story, and I'm gonna make all this music around that. It makes sense too, cause he's a writer first. Like he writes shows and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's an actor. So you could definitely peep that in the music too. That's another thing.
Definitely, and the ability to like merge everything together. I feel like
the thematics, like
the theme, and that's another thing about today's music. Like the theme of making a concept and like building it around has not been as apparent as it was in the past. Like a lot of
it's kind of dying out a little bit.
It is, because now it's just let me just put my best songs together and put it in an album.
Yeah,
it's not like let me actually like, you know, this has to do with this and this leads into this, and it's like a work of art.
I think that's what killed me about CLB, honestly, because even like Take Care got like a certain rhythm and flow to it, and like Free Smoke was like, I'm gonna make a greatest hits album, but of new songs. Like, so like Drake was hitting us with all this dope shit, and then CLB comes out and it's literally just like I feel like this is what Drake had in the hard drive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest. I did not listen to the full CLB. I'll be honest, so I can't really I can't speak on it because I haven't formed a full opinion because I haven't watched the whole thing. But from the songs that I did hear, Drake is one of those artists where whatever he does is gonna hit no matter what.
Yeah, that's facts.
And
that's big facts.
When he does do something a little bit out of his comfort zone, that also gets praised as well because he's just Drake.
Yeah.
There's really,
that's facts though, cause Drake really just be like, not like speaking, like not the voice for the culture, but he kind of gives us a description of where it's at. Like he'll like he kind of just sees it all, takes it in, and then like spits it back out.
And the other thing too is like he could create culture too. Like the 2C Slide, like that's something that came out during the pandemic, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but people was at home doing the 2C Slide.
When TikTok was like hot.
Exactly. The Kiki, do you love me? Like everybody was doing like he's literally creating culture. He's one of those people where if you were to ask him, oh, why'd you do that? He could literally just say because I'm Drake, and like that would make sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. You could imagine being so high at where you are, where you just be like, oh, why are you doing that, Control? Or why are you doing that? Oh, because I'm let out the pressure. And you'd be like, oh, okay. That's it. You can't say anything else.
It is what it is.
So that's how I feel about that.
That's a good point. Word. Okay. Just to recap, you said Kendrick, J. Cole, and then you said one more.
Travis, Chance the Rapper, Childish
Gambino. Okay, that's like a 5. That's super solid. Word.
That's my 5. Those artists you can hear in my music.
I was just about to say that. Like now that you put them all together like that, I could definitely peep it. That makes mad sense.
Yeah, and I think the thing that because obviously as an artist you want to be influenced by the people you listen to, but you want to also have your own like trump card, your own little distinct thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like with me, it's my ability to, I mean, I've heard from people like even when I did my first show in Brooklyn last week, and just when other people hear my music from like reviews or something, I submit or whatever.
Yeah.
They say I have a very distinct voice. It's like a very like low, like it's like a satisfying like low voice, and my ability to go from that low voice and then go like high, and to then maybe have this other voice. Like I use different voices in the same song, and it meshes very well together in my opinion. So that's kind of.
And that's also like I see that from Eminem too. Eminem, like that was a huge part of his success because he was versatile not only in flow but also like in the inflection of it and just like the character he had going on, you know. So that's facts too.
Oh, and my also distinct thing is the different time signature thing. That's the other thing. But like all those meshed together is like Let Out the Pressure, you know.
Facts. Yeah, I think now that you just said that, if I didn't ask you about it, like we would have like missed the whole target. So well, first of all, you record in what time measure usually?
Usually I record in a 4/4 time signature, regular
4/4
basis.
So you decided to break the mold, and now you make a bunch of your shit in 5/4, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so tell me about that shit. Like, how did you get there? Like, what made you want to do that? What is that like? Because I've tried to do that shit, and that shit is OD. So
yeah, so basically it came from, like I said, so back in 2019, this is when I was just solely producing, right?
Yeah.
I was scrolling through Instagram, and I don't know who said it, and I wish I remember who, but they were talking about, it was like an interview with somebody, and they were like, yo, you gotta realize 1 million producers think that they make the best beats in the world, so what are you gonna do that's different than everybody else? And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, because when I make a beat and I'm a producer, I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. Like, somebody's got it. There's no way you can't rap on this. And then people don't rap on it and stuff. You're like, damn, like, this is the best. And it kind of hurts your ego a little bit. So then that kind of gave me an epiphany. I'm like, okay, like, what can I do that nobody other producer out in the industry and the market can ever do? So it took me a while to, like, think about it. I literally remember my parents were gone. And I was like in the house, and I was literally just walking back and forth, like thinking about it. And then it hit me. I don't know what it did, but it hit me. I'm like, what if I make music in a different time signature? Now, 2 thoughts came to mind. The first one was 3/4, which is 1 2 3 1 2 3. And there's a lot of like jazz songs and stuff that are in like in 3/4. So that's the first thing that I did, right? I went FL Studio, boom, changed the time signature, made a beat in 3/4.
3/4,
I still have it. I'll probably make it into a song sooner or not. It has like an island vibe. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I did that, and then I was like, okay, that was cool. But you know, there's still some songs out there that are like in 3/4, like 6/4, whatever. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Like, you know. The Weeknd. I think there's a song by The Weeknd that's in.
It's mad. Weeknd would do like 6/8 type stuff.
Yeah, 6/8 and stuff.
But that's like ballad, you know?
Yeah, it's like that ballad type of. So I was like, all right. So let me try something else. So then was 5/4, right? So now that took me a while. Like, it wasn't just I just made a beat in 5/4 and I'm like, oh, I created this thing. It took me a while to develop that different time signature sound, because it started as all right, let me try. I remember going upstairs and I was trying to figure out, like, you know, how am I supposed to do this? And I just remember sitting there for like 3-4 hours, and whatever I had sounded like complete garbage, and it didn't make sense. Like, I couldn't even nod my head to it. So I'm like, all right, how am I gonna do this? So the first thing I did, I went on Spotify and I looked up songs at 5/4, and there was a playlist, and I clicked it, and that is the only thing I listened to for probably like 2 days. Like 2-3 days, I was only listening to music in 5/4. Like, I was not listening to any radio, because if I was listening to the radio or any other music out in the world, it was gonna throw my head off. I realized that the snare in 5/4 is on the 4 count, so it's 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So I had to get that like in my head that every time that 4 count hits, that's where the snare is.
It's fucking crazy.
So when you're doing 4/4 music, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3. It's on the 3 count. No, it's the 4 count, right? So it was that, and then I went back to it. The first thing I did was, instead of me making something, I'm like, let me make it easier for myself. Let me sample something.
Yeah.
So I looked up songs at 5/4 on YouTube. I found there were 2 samples. I don't know what they were. One was like a jazzy song, and then the other one was it was like a Japanese song or something. And they made a beat out of it, and it was actually like good. It gave me like medieval vibes or something like that. DJ, what's his name? It was DJ Shawty P, right? He had like a YouTube thing where he was reviewing beats and stuff. And he was doing a beat battle on his Instagram stories. People would DM him a beat, and then it would be on his he would upload it to his Instagram story. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and he would put like, oh, is this fire? Is it not fire? The winner gets like a beat pack. So I'm like, all right, look, I have this beat here. This is the first like actual beat I ever made in 5/4. Let me see what people are gonna think about it. And I submitted it to him, and I think it got like, it was like the fire was over here and the trash was over here. Most of it was towards the trash section. It was like, nah. But there was like 23%ish that said it was fire. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe it's just this beat. So went back to the lab, and this time I decided to make something. I loaded up, I think it was Labs. It was the plugin I used. And I made a beat. It was a piano, and I was literally clicking the notes because I don't know how to play piano. I just be filling it out.
Yeah, same.
So I was clicking the notes and stuff.
I'm drawing all my MIDI effects.
Yeah, and I was clicking the notes and stuff. And right now, just the metronome was going, and I wasn't getting it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. The snare is on 4. So what I did was the first thing, and this just goes like out in general. Whenever I make a beat in 5/4, the first thing I do is add the snare. So I could get the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So I could.
It's a little anchor.
It's the first anchor. Like it's literally the first things you have to do,
sense.
or else it's not gonna make any sense and you can't move forward.
Yeah.
So once I figured that, I'm like, okay. So piano, I had a first rough draft by like the end of the day. It wasn't perfect. Went to sleep, came back the next day. Was literally in my when I kid you now, I was in my headphones like the whole day.
Yeah.
Because it was a summer.
One of those.
Moved some notes around some more. And I think by like the end of the day, I had a solid melody in the piano. So then after that was like the drums and everything.
Yep.
Now the drums was like, it took me long, but it wasn't as long as making the melody. I figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out. I think there's another sound I added in there, and that wasn't. It's like a little counter melody. It wasn't that hard to add. It was only like 3 or 4 notes in the pattern.
Word.
And yeah, so then I made the beat. There was a beat battle, or like a beat review, that's what it was. It was a beat review DJ Shawty P was hosting. This time it was on YouTube. And I submitted my beat, and he listened to it, and I'm expecting like a horrible reaction or whatever. And I remember that before he started streaming, he's like, yo, guys, I'm going through like some family issues or something like that. Like, I'm just a little bit out of it today, so if I'm like off or something, like that's why. So then he played my beat, and then this dude was just going like, he's smiling and he's just nodding his head like this.
Yeah.
And people in the chat, yo, I swear people in the chat were some haters. They was like, what is this? Like, what? Like, what this 2000s type beat? Like, this is what's going on? But I wasn't really paying attention to that. So the DJ, Shawty P, was just like nodding his head to it. Now, it dropped off towards the end, and I was still learning about beat structure back then. So like, I took everything out, and he was like, he was about to give it the buzzer, but he was like, it kind of dropped out towards the end. That's the only reason why. But he was like, nah, that was different. It was a different vibe. So that gave me the kind of like the confidence to be like, all right,
going on there. There's something to explore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then I did another beat battle. This time it was by Producer Grind. I forgot who the 3 people were. It was like, who is J Beats? Somebody named like Corey or something, and then Sir Carrington. There were 3 judges, and the winner for this one was a free beat battle. The winner got like I forgot what the prize was. It was like maybe some studio monitors or something.
Word.
This time it was to submit 2 beats. Now I had this one, and since it was kind of later on in the summer, I had made some other beats in 5/4 as well. And they get to my song. The first song I played was the piano beat.
Yeah.
Literally in the first like 5 to 7 seconds, I think it was Who Is J Beats like and this is on my Instagram. Like if you want to see what it is, like you can literally go on my Instagram. It's like a video right there.
Yeah.
He just starts laughing. He's like, what is this? And
damn.
he was sitting on the right side. I think the person in the middle, I forgot. I think it was like Corey or something. I don't know. But he was like in the middle, like he was like questioning it. And then Sir Carrington was like, he was like smiling. And he was like, okay, like he was trying to see what was going on. So he played out a little bit more, and then it stopped. And who was JBC? He was like, oh, like I can't catch that. Like I can't. Like the snare was on a different thing. It was hard for me to catch. And it was Sir Carrington who kind of like influenced me to keep going, because what he said, and this is not like a quote or nothing, but basically more so what he said was, he's like, I think it's interesting that as a producer you're trying to push the boundaries and experiment with different time signatures and stuff, and you're trying to be different and everything. So then the second beat that was played was another 5/4 beat, and I remember this beat had like a crazy intro with like a bunch of synths and stuff, and then finally as soon as like the beat dropped, who is Jay Beats? Like he was slouching in his chair, and once he heard the drop, he started lifting up from the seat. He started nodding, so I'm like, all right, like there we go, like that's what I'm about to say. And so then Sir Carrington was like, look, like listen, give this dude like 2-3 more months, and like he's gonna be fired. Like he just needs to develop his sound a little bit more, and work with different sounds and stuff. But he was like, this is my favorite of the night. And so
damn, son.
I remember like during this whole stream or whatever, I was literally babysitting.
How much is that pool? Like how many?
Oh, it's probably, they went into like the nighttime. So I don't know, maybe they did like 50 or something.
Damn.
Like, they was at it. No, they was at it OD.
Heard it.
Like so, I know they was tired by the end of the stream and everything. But Sir Carrington like really like props, because he's one of the people that like made me keep going with what I was doing with the different times and everything. So after that, I released that piano beat. I put it out on Spotify, and it's called Heartbreaker. And that playlist that I was listening to, I found the email of the person who made it, and I emailed them like, hey, like I made a beat in 5/4, can you add to your playlist? And they were like, oh yeah, sure, it's a nice beat. So that was my first song in the actual playlist, and it was getting played. Whatever.
Heard it.
You know.
Heard it.
I'll play it sometimes, but I did take the constructive criticism, right?
Yeah.
When the song first started, when I was paying for the stream, like the snare kicked in like way too early. So I'm like, all right, I gotta take that out because people are gonna get turned off if I just have the snare going immediately. So I just chopped it and just had the piano go at first. So all you're hearing is the piano. And then another thing I did, I restructured the beat like Shawty P said, and then I had a solid beat. But now, right, let's fast forward like two years later to basically this year. In August.
2 years.
2 years, right? That same piano beat, was used for Heart on the Floor. And like I said,
because when you said Heartbreaker, some shit was like some light bulbs was like
exactly. And during the summer,
crazy,
you know, feel me, everybody goes through life, and I was like, yo, I need something to like just write down what I'm thinking. And I was like, I have a beat called Heartbreaker, so I'm like, all right, like let me see what I could do to this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I just started rhyming to it. I wasn't gonna make it a song at first. Like I think I told you at first I wasn't gonna make it a song. It was just like for me to just like write out what I was feeling and everything. So then I think I went to the studio later that week, and I think you were there the first time, right? You were there the first time to take pictures and everything. We worked on Get Down first, with the thing about cheating and stuff, and then we stopped that, and then I was like, all right, like let me see what this sounds like. There was the other song, was Reminisce, and I was like, nah, I'm not in the mood for that right now. So then it was Heartbreaker, went in the studio, started recording to it, and then it just sounded like very good. You know, when I was rapping it and hearing it back in the loudspeakers, and I had all these ideas popping up. I'm gonna do this like this background vocal, I'm gonna do this X, Y, and Z, and I was like, yo, I gotta finish this. Went back a week later, finished the whole song out, did a whole music video with Leo Caserta and Ryan Moreno, and Millie Polanco, and of course you, photographer on the scene. We got Ozzy Ballard there too, I'm just trying to mention names. I'm trying to not forget anybody. That was it, right?
Nah, I think that was everybody.
I think it was everybody. Okay. But yeah, so the music video, boom, hard on the floor. It's got like 6K views on YouTube.
6K.
6K on Spotify. It's something like for the first song.
For the first song, bro.
In a 5/4 time signature,
What are you talking about?
I saw some analytics. It had like 300 people saved or something like that. Okay, like it's a good first start. And mind you,
really good.
To the public, I mean, for me, I've been rapping since 2020, but to the public, I've only been rapping since August.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good. So you gotta count your wins and stuff, but. That is the long story of how I got into making music in 5/4, and I still have other beats in 5/4 that I obviously plan on releasing.
Yep.
I think in the future, after Y or maybe one more project later or something, I want to do something that's all like in 5/4.
Yeah.
And I want to call it like the world is an odd place, because like 5 like odd.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I want to call it the world is an odd place, and it's gonna be all in 5/4 or maybe like 3/4. Maybe I don't know. This is way further down the road, but that's like the picture that I have. Obviously, there's gonna be other projects.
That's hard.
But that's
hard.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm saying this on this interview. Is that like, I want to call it like the world is an odd place.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's the long answer to why I do 5/4. It's different. I'm the only person who can really do it. I've seen people do it on YouTube, but it doesn't make sense. And actually, you also helped me out too, because that Captain Murphy thing.
Yeah. That's the only 5/4 song I ever heard.
And it
Gone
was
Fishing, Captain Murphy.
And Flying Lotus.
Flying Lotus.
Yep.
He's like, that's his rapper alter ego. But he produced that beat.
Oh, it's his alter ego.
Or no, he didn't even produce that beat actually. So Flying Lotus, who produces, his alter ego is Captain Murphy when he rapping.
Oh.
But that beat, if I'm correct, was produced by Sam I Am. You ever heard of Sam I Am?
I have not.
Sam I Am be just making like a lot of beats, but you'll hear like Sam I Am on some Earl stuff, like kind of like more low key stuff, not too popular.
Sam I Am, if you're watching this, we gotta go.
Yeah. But Sam I Am's on that label. That label's called Brain Feeder. That like some talented artists on there. But yeah. So like that's the first 5/4 song I ever heard. And when I heard that one for the first time, like I think I was in like high school, I was a junior or something. I was like listening to the Captain Murphy mixtape, and I was like, yo, like this gotta kind of like this moves a certain way. It's like kind of quick, you know what I'm saying? No matter how slow it is, it's like fast. It's like you gotta kind of catch up to it. So that shit is ill.
And it was the way that he did it, and I looked up the sample. It was like a sample from like, it was some Spanish song.
Yeah.
From like way back when.
And it was one of those different genres like samba or something. So it was already 5/4, I think.
Yeah, so like, the sample was already 5/4. And then all they did was they looped it and put some drums, some boom bap drums to it. And yeah, like that was fire. And I knew that if he could do it, then why can't I do it? And why can't I do it and improve on it? Right?
Yeah.
Like he was one of the that song was literally like one of the earliest innovators. And I feel like I'm the person who is trying to make it a thing to where other artists are like, okay, like everybody's doing this now.
This shit is mainstream.
And one of the things about rapping in 5/4,
because that shit is like strictly orchestral. Like don't nobody outside of a fucking ensemble use 5/4.
Exactly. And the thing about 5/4 is that it's not something in a regular time signature. You could literally put a snare anywhere. You could do whatever, and because it's even, it'll sound good no matter what. For the most part, for the most part, you throw something anywhere, it'll automatically line, and it sounds with 5/4. And you have to be very particular about where you put certain things, because if you put them in the wrong space, it'll throw off the whole vibe to the whole song. And people will be like, "This song is mad weird."
Everything's got to be like tied up.
It's got to be exact. It's got to be tied up tight. It takes actual like skill to like make beats in 5/4. You got to actually like pay attention to it. You got to make sure that when other people hear it, they're not asking, yo, something's off about the song. When I performed Cinema at the Subad concert, no one at least to my knowledge was like, yo, something weird is about the song. When I performed in Brooklyn, no one was like, I can't catch. No, like people were like, no, it's good. I didn't even notice that it was
music.
Exactly, it was just music. And if that's the end goal.
If
music, someone could just say like it's just music, like I didn't even notice that means like I did a good job because you didn't notice it.
Because when I heard that song "Gone Fishing," I was like, "Yo, this is like this is a fire beat." Like that's just the first thing I thought. I was like, you know, like this is different. Like I know it was different, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? And like most people aren't even gonna notice. They just gonna be bopping. So
exactly. And you do your job when people just nod their head and they're not like confused as to like I'm trying to catch the beat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So that's the, like I said, that's the long answer to why I do 5/4.
Okay, so the last question for you is, what is your advice to artists, up and coming, younger, older, doesn't matter. Like what is your advice to artists who are trying to share their art, who are trying to get better?
My advice is develop your sound first, before you start putting it out in the universe, right? If you want, and this is my opinion, because there's artists who, you know, as soon as they start rapping something, they just put it out, and then people, you know, there are certain fans that like seeing growth, and they're like, okay, he used to sound like this, but now he sounds like this. Mm-hmm. That's true, but for me, I would recommend that you just keep producing, you keep developing your sound, so that when you do come out, people will take you seriously, and people will be like, yo, I didn't even know this kid. It'll be a complete shock, and people will be like, yo, I didn't even know this kid was rapping or making any type of music, and he's gonna make something like that. Like, that's very impressive. Like, yo, this dude's actually kind of nice, as opposed to, oh yeah, this kid, like, he raps, he be putting it out on SoundCloud or whatever, he puts on Spotify, don't be getting no views. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you want people to take you seriously, you gotta treat music seriously, you know what I mean? So that's my advice. My other advice is to just do it. Like, don't care about what other people think about, you know, about how they observe you. When I released my first song, I was like, wow, people are gonna like look at me as like a rapper or something. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, you have to accept that, and it's not gonna be easy to accept that, but you just have to accept it. I remember when I made my personal account, my artist account, it was kind of a big moment for me, because it was like, I'm not Kuilan anymore, I'm LetOutThePressure. People are gonna see LetOutThePressure, not gonna see Kuilan. Like, that, this is literally who I am now. You know what I mean? It's a complete like character change. You gotta put yourself in, like, I am an artist. Like, I'm not whatever my first and last name is, I'm an artist. And then the third thing is to do your research, because there are a lot of scammers out. Yo, there are so many.
you the scam police, bro. I swear to God.
There are so many scammers. And I will say that I have definitely been scammed before. Like, and when you get scammed, you don't know you're getting scammed until
they're everywhere.
There are so many scammers out here.
Once you make something, there's gonna be somebody who's trying to eat and like just like, you know, fucking venge off of you.
Exactly.
So that's just how it is.
It's always, and it's definitely a lot of it has to do with the fake streams. People being like, yo, if you pay me like $10 a day, I'll put you on my playlist and you'll get about like 20K streams in like 1 week. Like, does that, you gotta really think, and you gotta do your research on how to tell something is real and fake. You gotta be like, that's too good to be true. Like, you gotta rely on people who have a professional, like, kind of like resume. You want to do your research. You don't want to just, oh, look at this Instagram account. It's just a logo, nobody's face at all. It's just a logo. And oh, they have testimonials from people, but those testimonials are people that don't know nothing about fake streams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's people who fake streams out in, like, if your streams are coming from, I think it was like Buffalo or like Frank Buren, something, Germany, or like, there's different things. And I'm not gonna hold you, I was scammed. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was scammed. It was on, I was definitely scammed before. And once I had my suspicions the first time, but the second time I did it so that I could learn how the scamming works. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, I didn't do it just because I wanted more streams of my song. It was just so that I could be like, okay, let me look at the Spotify data. Okay, oh, it's coming from these areas. Okay, there's this many listeners to actual stream. All right, so this is what a like an actual scam. I'm looking at my YouTube analytics charts. I'm like, okay,
I love science experiment.
Yeah, okay, like, you know, why are these videos coming from India instead of the United States, right? So those are just examples, right? Know that you need to be smart. Like, the music industry is very cutthroat, and people are just trying to get your money. They don't care how good your song is. The other day, someone was like, I saw an ad, and it was like, oh, adding artists to my my playlist, like, DM me your YouTube link or something. So I'm like, okay. So I had my link. Yo, bro, this is fire. You know, usually I charge $300 to get 2 songs on this playlist, but for you, I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm like, okay. So now I go on Spotify. I see the playlist. It got 100,000 likes, and I see all these artists and stuff. I'm like, okay. So now I go to his followers and stuff, and I see all these like random ass accounts that don't even say first and last name. It's like XY93 or something, and they all got like, they each have 2,000. They each got like 4 playlists with about like the same. It's just, they're all bots. If you stream something from somewhere and it's just going to bots, no one's listening to your music. It's just getting botted, and people think that, yo, like, I got 100,000 streams. To the public, yo, okay, you got 100,000, but in reality, no one's heard your song except some computer programs.
It's not real, bro.
So just be aware of that, because just don't get scammed. So those are the 3 things that I would say.
Heard it. All right, so where can we find Let Out The Pressure?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at LetOutThePressure. Y'all can find me on Twitter. I think it's LetOutThePress1. Y'all can find me on TikTok, Let Out The Pressure. A lot of like behind the scenes stuff on my TikTok. Y'all can find me on YouTube. Just search up Let Out The Pressure. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, yo. Well, thank you for rocking with us.
No problem.
It's been fucking real.
Yes,
Go
sir.
check my boy out. Let Out The Pressure.
Yes, Let Out The Pressure.
Everything down below. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
So, let's see.
This is an interesting vibe. This is wow.
Bread. That's all we do. That's all we get.
Oh shit.
Eating bread, getting bread, so on and so forth. You know the vibes.
Yo, you got any vegan butter?
Working with, you pick based on that?
Just generally. No, this is a general one because I was like, I wanted something to get the creativity flowing. I wanted something that would make us open. Alright. And I wanted something that was, you know, empowering and doing.
Songs on Spotify like every week or something like that. Knowing that it's like the best thing I've just been learning to do is like be myself, and I know that sounds like normal advice, like it's real advice though, because it's so hard to not be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really easy to just like fall in line and be like, oh, you're doing it this way, I'm gonna do it this way. There's so many people doing it that way.